Yo, what's going on everyone? Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to talk about two characters who changed the way we think about female characters in animation. You've seen them, you know them. They are Toph and Katara. And their impact on the world of anime and beyond is nothing short of revolutionary. But what is it about these two characters that has made them so iconic? How did they challenge the stereotypes and break new ground for female characters? Today we're deep diving into how these two characters from Avatar changed the game for women in animation, empowering audiences and reshaping expectations of what female characters could be. So let's get into it. Now before we deep dive into how Toph and Katara revolutionized female characters, let's take a moment to look at the state of female characters in animation leading up to the early 2000s. Now back in the day, female characters in cartoons and anime were often defined by a few narrow roles. They were princesses in need of saving, the supportive sidekick, or the romantic interest for the main male hero. Think of characters like Princess Aurora from Sleeping Beauty, or Daphne from Scooby-Doo. These characters were often defined by their beauty, their need for protection, and their relationship to the male protagonist. But then insert Avatar. Let's start with Katara. You see, at first glance, she might seem like the typical female hero that we were used to seeing in cartoons at first. You see, she's a healer, a nurturing figure, and a cool member of Team Avatar. But if you think Katara is just a supportive character, you are solely mistaken. Katara isn't just a healer, she's also a fighter, a strategist, and she's also a leader. Throughout the series, she takes on some of the toughest battles, both physical and emotional, and she holds her own against some of the strongest characters in the show, including Zuko, Azula, and even Aang during their moments of conflict. Katara's journey isn't just about finding a man to rescue her, it's about finding her own strength. In a world full of powerful benders, Katara's development as a waterbender is absolutely extraordinary. She trains herself to unlock new abilities like bloodbending and is shown to be incredibly resourceful and powerful, sometimes even more so than the male characters. But Katara's strength isn't just physical, it's emotional too. Throughout the series, Katara is the emotional heart of the team. She loses her mother, her entire village is destroyed, and she struggles with the weight of responsibility. Yet time and time again, she rises above these challenges. She doesn't just heal others, she heals herself. And in doing so, she empowers those who are around her. And then there's Toph Beifong, perhaps one of the most revolutionary female characters ever to grace the screen. Toph doesn't just break the mold, she absolutely shatters it. From her first appearance, she defies every single stereotype associated with women in animation. Here's the thing, Toph is blind. Yep, she's blind. And yet she becomes one of the most skilled earthbenders ever to live. She's the one who teaches Aang the most difficult form of bending, and she does it with confidence and a sheer refusal to be underestimated. Think about it. She's a little girl from a wealthy family who's been sheltered her whole life. Yet she's also the strongest member of Team Avatar in terms of raw power. Toph is a living, breathing subversion of the damsel in distress trope. Not only is she an earthbender prodigy, but she's also incredibly witty, stubborn, and not afraid to stand up for herself. She doesn't need anyone to rescue her. She's already capable of rescuing herself and everyone around her, to be honest. Her strength comes from within, and she's never let her blindness hold her back. What's even more incredible about Katara and Toph is how well they complement each other. Their relationship is a powerful example of female friendship, one that isn't based on competition or rivalry, but on mutual respect and growth. You see, despite their differences, Katara and Toph learn from each other and push each other to be better. You see, Katara is often the calm, nurturing figure, who brings emotional balance to the group. Toph, on the other hand, is the force of nature, brash, loud, and unapologetically herself. But when they come together, they create a dynamic that feels natural and powerful. Katara helps Toph open up emotionally, while Toph encourages Katara to embrace her more assertive side. This relationship was groundbreaking in its own right, because it didn't rely on the typical trope of a female character being catty or rivals. Instead, Katara and Toph form an honest, supportive friendship that shows a new, more positive way for women to relate to one another on screen. So what exactly did Katara and Toph do for female representation in animation? Well, let's break it down. First, they showed that female characters could be complex. They could be strong, they could be powerful, they could be emotional and vulnerable all at once. They didn't have to fit into the neat pre-packaged roles. Both Katara and Toph proved that there is no right way to write a female character. Toph and Katara were ahead of their time. Their influence is still being felt today in modern animation. The world of female characters in animated shows is richer, more diverse, and more nuanced because of these two groundbreaking women. By the end of Avatar: The Last Airbender, Katara and Toph's arcs were complete, but their legacies were just beginning. They helped set the stage for the new wave of animated characters who weren't just strong women. They were people with flaws and ambitions, and dreams and struggles. Katara and Toph proved that strength isn't just physical. It's mental, it's emotional, it's also spiritual. They redefined what it means to be a female character in animation, and in doing so, they paved the way for future generations of girls to see themselves in powerful, multifaceted roles, something that was long overdue. Katara and Toph weren't just characters in a TV show. They were revolutionaries in their own right, showing the world that female characters can be just as strong, just as complex, and just as influential as their male counterparts. Their legacies live on, not just in Avatar: The Last Airbender, but in every story that challenges the old ways of thinking about women in media. So what do you think? How did Avatar's legacy influence the way you view female characters in animation? Let me know down in the comments. And if you loved this deep dive, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more videos celebrating amazing characters that shape the world of anime. Peace.